Hello billionaires, my name is Ashwin from Behind the Billion, and in this video we are going to have fun and informative conversation with a talented gaming developer, Mr. Hari Prasad from Smash Game Studios. Recently we uploaded a video on the current situation of gaming industry in India and we got a huge positive response from our side. So we went digging to find some good developers who can provide us more in-depth information about it. So let's find out some more details of this billion-dollar industry.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name
Yeah,
is
sure.
Hari Prasad. I've been in the gaming industry for the last 7 years now, from 2013. I started off by working at Games to Win. I don't know if you've heard of it. They've mostly worked on Parking Frenzy and mostly a lot of mobile titles. So I worked there for a good 3.5 years or something. Then after that, I took a break off, and then I decided to start out on my own. So I took like a 2-year gap in the middle, which I used to learn as much as I can about running a business, because it's completely different from just working at a normal
completely
company.
different from being employed.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been good, man. Like, it's been a very good learning experience for me. And mid 2017, I think we officially started. But early 2017, we kind of started work on a few mobile games. Like we started working on a few mobile games first.
I actually played some of your games, mobile games which you are talking about, the Infiltrate 3D, Night Racer.
Yeah. So Infiltrate was like our first game that we made in our studio, for the first time ever. And then it was a casual game that we launched on the App Store, I think early 2017, it must be something like that. So it was a good learning experience for us, like the first time foraying into the mobile space, and it can be quite crazy, like the amount of competition that's there and everything. Especially like now, like there's a lower barrier of entry, like where anyone who wants to right now, any kid out there who wants to make games can make a game right now. And
also, the industry is booming right now in India.
Yeah. So it was like a kind of like a test for us as well, like for us as a young studio also, like how can we stand out and attract as many users to our games. So after Infiltrate, we worked on this game called The Ultimate Heist. It was like a 2D puzzle game type thing, which I wanted to experiment, like where we had designing levels using like graph sheets and all that, and figuring out puzzles. Like all those were like very fun interactions I had with my team at that time as well. So it was like a very good learning experience for us. So we released The Ultimate Heist on iOS, and then it did better than we expected. So it gave us a much needed. It gave us like a much needed confidence boost as well to pursue other ventures as well. Once that got done, what we wanted to do is I wanted to work on a premium game first. And at that point of time, none of my team were experienced to work on a premium game or publishing it on Steam, for that matter. We had no idea how to do it first. At that time, if you remember, there was this thing called Steam Greenlight. I don't know if you remember.
I am not able to recollect it, but I thought I was.
Yeah, so Steam Greenlight is like a service where you can pitch your game to your audience, and then they could greenlight the game and all those things. Steam initially wasn't open for everyone type thing, so you had to get selected using the Greenlight functionality, and then from there you can publish the game on Steam. So thankfully, Ultimate Heist was a good opportunity for us to get our game published first. We obviously we learned a good bit from doing that, and then we decided let's make a full Steam game now. It gave us a good confidence thing. Once we managed
you
to
also have the Last Train on. You have this game, Last Train.
So the Last Train was one of our biggest games from our studios we've made
and
so far.
It's very good. It's too good.
So we've been it was a crazy experience, the entire Last Train thing. So initially, I think mid 2017 was when we had a basic idea of what we wanted to do with the Last Train. So it was basically I remember it was about seeing some cabs or something, and people wanted to get on a cab, and then that cab we just took off without picking them up. So
yeah. I saw this. I think so. I saw this on an article where the first storyline was something. You get on the train or the cab,
and that
Yeah.
the train takes you to different station. And after that, you came up with this whole idea of customizing and this
Yeah,
different things.
yeah. So like that was basically an idea where, like watching those people like having this power to like say no to someone, yes to someone. Like
Okay,
it
okay.
was like a
Yeah.
very interesting dynamic that was playing out there. Although it was like very simple only, but making a game out of that small thing is very
Right,
like
right, right.
very big.
Creativity and the imagination part is very important.
Yeah, slowly started experimenting with the basic idea of like say picking up people from one place to another, like picking up a person say from Mumbai and then dropping them in Pune or whatever. So like that was like the basic idea of it. And then we started to add more complexities. Like the game is very simple, like as a premium game, if it's just picking them up, dropping them at one corner, that doesn't make like it's not like a proper game. Like we need to add more
Add
depth
some more
and detail.
right.
Yeah. So we started adding like crafting mechanics and a whole bunch of things, crafting, scavenging, and then like once we had all those in place, then we wanted to go into the look and feel of the game. Like when is the game set? Where is it happening? What is the time period? Why are you doing this? Like why are you as a player? Like what is your motivation of doing this? We'll just take a riff of like the US bombing Japan and what if Japan bombs the US, and like
exactly.
US at that point of time already had like the industrialization happened, and like they had the infrastructure for a good train and all those things. So we eventually like settled in on making this thing as the US as like a point of
story kind of
a story. And then we started working on the art and all those things. And then eventually like what we wanted to do is like we wanted to give the player like a moral dilemma whenever they're picking up a person or whatever the case may be. Like we wanted to give them like a tough choice that they need to do. Like say if someone's a murderer or something like that, but then they'll give you like very good rewards, but then they are a bad person at the end of the day.
Some
so would you
suspicious kind of thing, and you need to figure it out. Is a good person or a bad person?
We created around 150 passengers, and like 150 passengers are there in the game. I think during one playthrough, I think you'll end up meeting, I think probably like 48 or 50 people. Like you might have to play it twice or thrice to get through all 150 of them. So say if someone wants to go to, like at that time, I think Fallout 4 had come out, I think. So I was like playing it a lot. So we made a passenger about like who wants to go to Boston or something. There's a vault I want to enter and all that. So like it gave us an opportunity to have some fun as well. It was like a very good experience, man. Like overall, like it was a good experience. But however, like I'll say we got the game crowdfunded. Like if you know, like we used Indiegogo as a platform to crowdfund the game. So it was like a very challenging thing because we had to get a demo out for the Indiegogo campaign. So at that point, like we had figured out most of the setting. Like we had around I think 30 passengers at that time, 30 passengers and like a limited map. And people could like play through the like maybe like till the first story break or something, like for the first 20 days or something of the story, and then like get it done with. Once that got done, and then like thankfully like we got a good bit of press coverage at that time.
When I was searching about Smash Game Studio, I came through this that you guys got crowdfunding, and I actually wanted to ask that how did this whole thing work? How does this crowdfunding work?
Yeah, I mean at that time I think Kickstarter was quite popular at that time, but then like unfortunately like since we were a registered company in India at that time we couldn't like use Kickstarter. We didn't have like a publisher staying in the US or something like that. So we had to use sources available to us. So we zeroed in on Indiegogo. The fees were quite reasonable as well. So it made more sense for us to go ahead and do that. Right. That process was like very interesting to say the least. Like it lasted for about 30 days or something. And although like our budget wasn't like massive or anything, but still at that point for a small studio for a small company to do that was like quite difficult for us. Like I remember the first few days it was like for us to cross that first $1,000 mark only, like I was like sweating at home. Like what's gonna happen? But then like thankfully like at that time we had good coverage from Gadget 360. At that time Rishi Alwani, you've heard of him, like he's a popular journalist, like game journalist in India, who covered the article and published it, like, and a few other websites also picked it up. And then thankfully like by the end we were able to like raise the funds necessary, and then like the real work began. Like I think like because the demo was just like a part of like what we can do, and then like
yes.
the real work began.
And
Like
the real part
work,
began.
yeah, the real work went on from I think October 2017 till October 2018. Like it was like a mad rush to the finish line, and then like we wanted, like even with the limited budget we had, we wanted to make the game as professional, and
Exactly.
so
And people think it's easy to make a game, like,
Yeah.
but they don't know the details about it. So if I may
Yeah.
share some of the details, yeah.
Yeah, so like say for instance like music or something, so we could have like just gone to some audio stock site or something, just downloaded some music and put it up. But then I felt like it wouldn't do justice to the game, so we tied up with like a musician, like got a professional musician. booked
Okay, you
recording
created your
sessions.
original part, right?
Yeah, like
Okay.
everything is like
That's-
OST, all those things. Like the person I knew was like an acquaintance only, like who ended up composing the music for us. Like he was able to he just like finished it within like about 2 to 3 weeks or something. And then he gave me the final listing. So that one we did, and then like voiceover also, we didn't want to like just put like text subtitles playing out. Like we wanted like
Okay,
full
yeah.
proper voiceovers and everything.
Proper details and
Yeah,
everything.
so we hired like a voice actor and everything from the
Okay,
States.
so
and then,
you made everything from scratch.
yeah. So that one, then we decided let's let the player play a male and a female. So we had like a female voiceover artist recording the same line there. so like I feel like but then I'll tell you now, like this is a learning experience for us as well. Like like this was like the first big project. But then after I think October we released the game, and then thankfully like the response was quite good. Although like people gave us a ton of feedback as well, like what we can do to improve the game and everything, and we constantly kept updating the game over and over. For the first 3-4 months at least, like we would have updated the game every 2 weeks or something, I'm sure.
But the feedback is actually one of the most important parts.
Yeah, 100%. And weirdly enough, now like this pandemic gave us an opportunity to just look back at the last train. I was like, like 2 years is gonna happen now. Like let me just do something more to the game or add something more. So we started work I think in April or May, I think, like just as the lockdown started in India. I think we started doing it, and then I was like, let's start adding more content to the game. And then we ended up making a massive update, and thankfully like people really love the game even more than so the first time around, whatever compromises we had made, now like say we wanted to have like a random encounters and stuff happening. So all those things we wanted to add, so we ended up adding all those things right now.
But what did inspire you to get in this field? Because I don't think so back then it was that very common to get into an gaming industry.
Yeah, so for me, like I've been playing games since I was like a very young kid only. So like pretty much every young kid in India right now, I think,
Exactly.
is like So like I started off with like the Mario and all those things, and then
Which was your favorite game from back 90s?
90s ka? I would say like the PS1 had some very good games. I remember Final Fantasy and all was good, and then Final Fantasy 7, no, like that one was
Yeah.
that
I
one.
remember
Metal Gear was
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man also. Like I remember the bomb girl level, all those things were like really good. So I've been gaming since I was like very young as well. So I've been wanting to do this, but then like I studied for this as well, and my parents were like incredibly supportive of doing this, and they also helped me out along the way. And obviously like I got to work at GamesTuven and all these places. Like first time around, just as I was starting up, I got to work at GamesTuven when they had like a web portal. Okay, so there used to be a web portal where they used to make flash games. They used to make a game every week or something. So like
mini games, I guess. So the mini games.
Yeah, all those things. So we used to just bang out one game after the other weekly. So it got me into the groove of I learned like by just being there, like working with the testers, programmers, artists, everyone, and like it's been a good learning experience, and I'm still learning also. Like I still feel I'm learning something new every day.
And that's
like
the
a never
good part.
ending
You should be learning. That's the great part. So like one of my question for you was, this is a specific question about Last Train. It is, as you said, it is based on the story of World War II. And whenever we hear about World War II, the first thing comes into mind. Any game about World War II is like the battlefield game, the frontline game. We have to fight with the enemies. But
Yeah.
I guess so, the last 10 has a very different approach towards it.
So for me, like I'm a huge fan of COD and all those things as well. So I've been playing shooting games as well. And like for me, like it gave me a good opportunity. At that point, I think I was very into like story-based games. There was a time when Telltale Games were making like new episodes every month and all that.
Yeah.
So like I was like super fascinated by that, and I really wanted to do something along those lines, like tell a story. And also like I wanted to give the players a different perspective from say like you being armed with a gun and all those things, and then like instead of that, like what if you don't have a gun? You can't do anything to defend yourself. All you can do is like
Okay.
use
Use
like
your
the
brain
train,
and use
use
the
the train that
creativity.
you have. That's about it. Like like that one was like very interesting to me. That idea was very interesting to me, and that is the main reason why we stayed away. And on top of it, like I don't think as an indie developer I can go right up compete with COD, COD or Battlefield for that matter with the budget they have. And even though like Unity Engine has come like a long way, I don't think like with the budget we have right now working, like I don't
Maybe
think
in future, who knows? Maybe in future.
yeah, for sure. I still feel like going forward also now, like I feel like I enjoy doing this more than say like making a shooting game or stuff of that nature.
Yeah,
I feel
okay.
like. And it's not like I hate shooters or something. It's just like I play Fortnite and all like every once in a while. So it's not like I hate shooters, but it's just it's a personal preference for me. Like I feel comfortable doing this, and obviously like I would want to dip my feet into something new in the future. But
So, like, the next question for you was, what are the problems you faced while making a game in the early stages, and how did you solve it?
yeah, so like I told you now, like say Last Train ka pre-production work, it was a brand new game
Yeah.
and it was massive for me as well. And like as far as like story mapping and all, like it was the first game where I had to put a proper thought into understanding what the story is and all those things. So like that was like the toughest part for me. I remember like when I was figuring out the story and all, I was like I just used to tap pieces of paper, like just sit on the floor and like figure out what to do with the story. I still have that paper and all with me. Like it was like a very completely new experience for me as well. Like even I was learning as with my programmers and my artists, like even I was learning what can be done with Unity with a small team. Like how can we collaborate better? Since I told you like we've been working remotely, at that time it was like I used to have I used to have like a Unity file with me. I had to like zip the file, Google Drive to my programmer somewhere else.
Okay,
So
okay.
that was like a crazy hassle. And as Last Train started, like I knew like that was not going to work. That was not going to cut it for sure. Like the fact that I had to zip file, he had to zip file, like that's not going to happen because like everyone was like collaborating at the same time. So I had to force myself to learn how to use GitHub and Unity Collaborate, all the collaboration tools. Say for instance, at that time, like we finished the story and everything, okay? Like we finished the main gameplay, everything is done. And then we're like, oh, we need to implement Steam Cloud. How do we do that? We need to implement Steam achievements. How do we do that? So all those things are something that you learn on the spot, and there's barely any documentation out.
So basically started it and then you kept on learning and adding on new things.
Exactly.
We actually recently launched a video regarding this gaming industry, and that time we figured it out the actual the situation right now of the gaming industry, and we want to know your opinions about it. Like, what do you think as a developer, as India's gaming industry is growing? So, what are your opinions about it?
It's been good, man. Like I think there's multiple division. Like it's like fragmented right now. I feel the Indian gaming industry. Say one group is like focused on games like say Raji, like the top class 3D art style focus.
Right.
So we have stuff like that also. We have mobile games also. Say Ludo King, Parking Frenzy, all your mobile games you have. And then you have like real money gaming or something. So that one's also kind of part of it's. I mean, when you read everything, everyone's like trying to get it. That's part of the gaming. Right. They try to pushing it into the part of gaming. But I feel like it's in a good phase right now. Like there's a lot of new companies popping up, and it's like never been a better time. Especially being in India. Like I would say, like it's easier than anywhere in the world right now to develop video games, especially here in India.
That's a great thing. And also by the companies, I think so your games are going to be featured on Jio's set-top box, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
That
tell us
was
something.
yeah. So last year we've been working extensively with Geo games, and so like I'll tell you like two games that we worked on is Infiltrate 3D and one more game called Flip It, like two hyper casual games that we worked on, and we have two more games that we have worked. We are done. I think we're mostly done.
Okay.
Ready
So
to
like
go,
when
but,
we can see this games on this Jio setup?
I'm not sure, man. I can't give you an exact date for it. See, like these two, those two games you can get it right now. Say Infiltrate and Flip It, you can play it right now. Like if you want.
Okay.
It's if you have a Geo setup box out right now, you can definitely try it. Yeah.
And I especially loved your game. The last game,
Yeah.
the last train, I felt it that the game I felt it very
Yeah.
especially for the storyline as I mentioned. earlier.
Yeah,
Because
that's awesome.
And nobody took such. I don't think so. Anybody took such an
Yeah.
different approach towards the storyline.
So that's about it. But for our future, no, like say the premium game that we are working on, like we've started work on another Steam game that we're working on. We don't have much to show as such. Like it's just like it's still in pre-production only. We are working on a hospital simulator set in the same universe as the last train, basically.
Okay.
It's like
Same
the hospital
same part
man.
in World War II.
Yeah. So it's like set in the same universe. Like, so what we wanted to do is like instead of focusing on just the train thing, no? So what we wanted to do is like life of like a hospital administrator at that time. So we're doing a lot of we're doing a lot of research on it. Like my parents are doctors as well, so they're helping me out with that.
Oh, okay. Great. Great.
So like quite
Very realistic input, I guess.
yeah. So you know, like still basic pre-production. Like we figured out the basic game loop and all that.
So you're much more into history.
Yeah. So
History game.
I don't know. I'm just telling you like this is what I have in mind right now. Maybe by the time the game comes out, it'll be set in cyberpunk world or something. So for the time being, right now, it's like in very early production right now.
One last question to you is: what
Yeah.
advice would you give to youngsters who want to join this industry right now, or who are willing to start up their own company?
So I would suggest like best thing to do about making games is make games and learn to make games. Like check out your favorite games on your mobile platforms or whatever it is, or whatever platforms you play on. Even if you play COD or something, come to Unity or Unreal Engine or whatever is you're comfortable using. Start making it. Like that is the best way of learning things. And then like now where Steam is also like an open platform where anyone can publish right now. So,
Yeah, right. Anyone can publish.
so anyone can just like quickly just get a Steam application fee and then pay it up and then launch your game. You know, like just keep making games, keep getting, keep learning as many new things as you possibly can. Like that is the most important thing I would say to anyone.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Sure. I guess so. That's it. Just great
Yeah.
talking.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. Very thanks to you for joining us today.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
So that's all for this video. Hope you liked our video, and if you liked it, do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for such amazing content. And comment down below with your questions and suggestions. We'll surely reply to it. Also check out The Last Train and the other games from Smash Game Studio. They make really amazing games. Also join our Discord and Telegram group. All the links are in the description below. Until then, keep building, keep supporting. Thanks for watching.